Compa Eliezer, the story I'm about to tell you happened on true events. Not only was I the only one who lived the story, I had told it to one other person, but that's about it. No one else knows the story. Are you ready? I wrote this down in a notebook. The reason why I did that, normally I don't write things I go through.
Yeah.
But this day is a day I'll never forget. I'm willing to share it with not only you, but the people who are watching. I'm pretty sure there's people out there who have lived through similar situations where they just can't explain nothing. So without further ado, here's my story.
Let's hear it.
The story is called The Time We Saw Something That Was Never Truly There, by yours truly, Toxic Fernie. This happened in the year 2021, about 4 years ago. Me and two other friends decided to hang out one night. We weren't really sure on what to do, so we decided to buy some tall cans of flavored Modelo.
Okay.
We decided to buy some tall cans and drink them at one of the views here in town. I was the one driving since we decided to take my car. It was probably around 10 p.m. when we got to the view.
Late at night.
Really late at night. We were the only ones there. At least, that's what we thought. After a couple minutes of being there, we were just chilling, talking, sipping on our beers, just enjoying the view. When all of a sudden, we saw a light in the distance from the rear view mirror. We turned around to see what it was, like a regular light from a phone. iPhone, Galaxy, you name it. It looked like just a regular phone light.
Like a flashlight.
Yes. The weird part is that we never saw or heard another car come up. We decided not to worry about it when all of a sudden the weather got colder and colder. Not only did it get cold, it got dark.
Damn.
All of a sudden, I ended up getting goosebumps.
Fuck.
In that very moment, we noticed the flash was getting closer and closer. My friend in the passenger seat said, "Bro, turn on the car and fucking drive."
What the fuck?
Without any hesitation, that's exactly what I did.
Fuck, dude. So everyone fucking felt what you felt.
Exactly. We don't know what it was, but we just felt a dark presence. I drove as fast as I could for like a good minute. My friend in the back seat told me, "Dude, let's turn around and see if it's a person." I said, "Are you sure?" "Yes," he said. I look at my other homie in the passenger seat. "Do it," he said. We ended up turning around. As soon as we got to the spot where we were chilling at, there was nothing there.
What the fuck?
We all looked at each other, all confused. "Let's get the fuck out of here," said my homie in the back seat. We ended up leaving somewhere else. Till this day, we ask each other. I ask myself, what in the hell was that we saw?
Nah, that shit's crazy, dude.
It is.
And the crazy thing is that I've heard so many stories about supernatural shit going on here in town, especially out in Ashland. Where were you guys at, you said?
This took place in Phoenix, Oregon. The
Dude.
view is called Monkey Trees.
Ashland's literally like 10 minutes away from there. And I've heard so many shit going down in Ashland.
Yes.
Supernatural people doing some fucking rituals for Satan up there.
Yes, I don't know if you heard, but Ashland exit 6. There's a spot called Tunnel 13.
I have not.
So that's basically like an abandoned train track.
Oh shit.
And I've been there before. But what's crazy is that I've been there during the day. And even during the day, you just feel like a dark presence.
Oh shit. So you just get some crazy ass goosebumps and shit?
Yes. I remember this time I went with 2 other friends. We went during the day. I've heard of the Tunnel 13 up in Ashland, Oregon, but never really got to see what it's like until that day. And that day that I went, right off the back, I just felt like an off vibe. Once you get there, it looks pretty normal, but once you get closer to the tunnel, that's where you see it all. Witchcraft, demonic signs.
Holy shit.
People who have done graffiti, but like it's all like demonic shit. That time we went, the closer we got to the tunnel, darker it just felt and got. We just got like an off vibe and just decided to dip out.
That's insane, dude.
But that day that we were at Monkey Trees, we don't know what the fuck we saw. We don't know what it was. We thought it could have been a person, but there was nothing there.
That's crazy.
As soon as we went back, it was just all dark, trees.
Like no presence of nothing or no one.
Not a single car, not a single person.
That's insane.
It is. A lot of people right now would say, oh, like, you probably saw a lost spirit. But in reality, that's something just out of the ordinary.
Fuck.
That day was just on some supernatural type thing.
That shit's fucking dark.
Yeah. And to this day, like, it's not something I think about every day, but it's something that every once in a while will come to mind and just be like, damn.
What was it?
I have no idea. Maybe it could have been a sign. A sign of us not being there around those hours. Because it was late at night. Like I said, it was just 10 o'clock at night. And we were just chilling there. We had just gotten there.
They wanted you out of there.
But why?
But the fact that you guys went back and didn't find nothing, that's where it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because you guys went back, you were all like, we need to figure out what the fuck this shit is.
When we went back, like I said, we didn't hesitate on leaving. Because if it would have been a person,
yeah, you guys could have talked to them or whatever.
yeah, we could have been like, oh, it's just a person. Who cares, you know?
They could have told us to leave.
Exactly. But like I said, as soon as we went back, there was nothing. Not a single person, not a single animal. The person that I told this to, they told me that it could have been a firefly.
Nah, fireflies aren't that fucking bright, dude.
No.
A flashlight? Hell no. A firefly is like half of a flashlight.
Exactly. Like I said, this looked like a flash from like a phone. But the crazy part is that it just was getting closer and closer, but like fast, you know? We could have waited, but who knows? Maybe if we would have waited, maybe right now I wouldn't be here talking to you.
That is true though. Because it could have been a whole fucking spirit that just was like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna take over your lives right now at this moment.
Exactly. So in a way, I'm kind of glad, because I wasn't like shocked, you know. But I'm glad that, you know, my homies that I was with, which is also another crazy thing, because, you know, I wasn't the only one who saw that.
Or felt it.
Felt that. So I'm glad, like, the homies I was with, they told me, like, hey, bro, like, you need to, like, step on it. Because if I would have just stayed in shock, like I said, right now I wouldn't be here talking to you.
For real though.
But what do you think?
Shit's supernatural, dude. Something that's unexplainable, because those type of experiences, you all felt it. If it would have just been you, then it would have just been you. But since all you guys felt that, it's something real, you know?
Yeah.
Something that's super unexplainable. And the fact that you all went back to see what it was and it wasn't there, it's supernatural.
Yeah. I know there's people out there that have crazier stories. And I truly believe, right? Because, you know, I'm also a person who also listens to other podcasts about paranormal activity. The fact that it happened to me, I gotta write this down and like tell it at some point. And I feel like right now is the perfect moment. Was the perfect moment. But like I said, I don't know what it was. I don't know what could have been. But I'm just glad I'm still here. I've been there recently, actually, but it has been during the day. And during the day, it's just normal, you know? But ever since that night, I never went back.
No, yeah.
At those hours. Because who knows, maybe whatever that thing was is probably still there.
For real, though.
But it's not going to be out of my curiosity to find out. Never in my life have I ever experienced something like that.
Something super deep for sure, though. Something that will for sure change the way you think and see life.
Yeah. That's why we should all, if we ever get to experiment something like that and we just come out of it, let's just know how to appreciate life even more than what we already do. Yeah.
I agree.
I heard you got some stories of your own.
Oh, yeah. I wrote them down, too. So this was back in June 2023. Oh, sorry, June 2022.
3 years ago.
I was working at a studio in LA. The city was Glendale. I had been working there for at least a month already. But one night, they told me, hey, you can stay and sleep over tonight because we're going to head out right in the morning. So as long as you're up in the morning and open the gate for us, you're good. But you can sleep all night. And I was like, okay. But this was the first time that I had ever gotten that opportunity.
Right.
They told me, hey, I know that you work all night through, but go to bed. Just be awake by 6 a.m. so you can open the gate. And I was like, okay. I was awake. Or I went to bed right at 1 a.m. because I had to do all my duties. I worked at a music studio. And I was working for a famous producer, artist. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go to bed. But I'll have the gates open by 6 a.m. I went to bed at 1 a.m. on a couch. And I had a TV. Let's say this was a couch, right?
Yes.
I was sleeping. My head was over there, and I was facing that way. And while I was facing that way, I had a TV with all the cameras. So that way I knew if anybody came through or anything,
you'll be able to see it.
Exactly. So I was trying to stay awake, but at the same time, I wanted to get my own rest. So I closed my eyes. I was probably asleep for 3 hours. At the 3rd hour mark, it was probably around 3 a.m.
Dark hours.
I was sleeping on that couch. My head was right there. But I also had my arms up. And then while I was sleeping, I felt like that famous producer came down and pulled me out of my fucking couch. My arms were like this, and all I felt was my arms getting pulled. And I got dragged around the studio, and I can still see the cameras. And I was getting dragged as I was sleeping, but my arms were just like this, and I could just feel me getting dragged by that famous producer. I was getting dragged around the studio.
Question. Is this famous producer still alive?
Oh yeah. And he's fucking succeeding in life like a motherfucker, which is fucking amazing. But going back to the story.
Right.
I was getting pulled around the studio, and I was like, what the fuck? Why are you doing this? As I was like getting dragged around, and I was just getting dragged. But then all of a sudden, and the thing is, I was like, in my head, I knew this was just a dream. So I was telling myself, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, but I couldn't wake up. And it just kept happening. I was getting dragged around the studio. And all of a sudden I woke up and I was just laying on the couch, staring at the opposite side of the cameras. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I saw the time and it was 6 a.m. The time that I had to wake up. So when I woke up, I was like, what the fuck just happened? And I was literally just laying there on the couch, just staring at the opposite side of the screen. The screen was over there telling me, like, those are the cameras. That's the couch. I was sleeping, facing that way, but I was like this. And I woke up, it was like, no fucking way this just happened. I looked at the cameras, nothing was there. I looked at my watch, 6 a.m., the time that I had to be up. I woke up, I opened the gate, and when I opened the gate, that producer who I saw in my dream walked out and left.
Really?
But that's something that every day I think about. I'm like, was that a dream or was that real life? But it had to be a dream because I woke up and I was still laying right there.
Right.
But that's something that I will never forget because it felt so fucking real. I was laying there and I was being dragged around the fucking studio. And that's the shit that like got me. Ever since that day, I was like, dude, what the fuck am I getting myself into? Or what the fuck is this life? Like, what is this? But that is a moment where I was like, nah, bro. I don't know if I can keep doing this because this is super supernatural. And then the other thing that made it so much more supernatural is that even during the day when I was working at that studio, I would hear people walking on the roof and there's no fucking second floor. But you can hear footsteps just going ka, 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 all over the building. And I've had other people who I was working with at the same time, and they'd be like, you heard that? And I'm like, I heard that. And they're like, okay. And that's it. Because everyone who has worked there knows what the fuck is going on there. That place is for sure like possessed or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But there's also been a lot of stories about not that producer that I was working for at the time, but other producers who have been working there doing rituals and satanic shit. So
in the studio or in that building. So at the end of the day, I knew what it was. And there's been times where like you heard those footsteps. I'm like, I heard them. We went up because there was a gate to go up to the roof, like stairs to go upstairs, and we would go on the roof. No one was there. But we would hear those ka, 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 like running, like they would stomp on the fucking roof, like boom, 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 boom. We went up there and checked, no one. But like it's something that we had to deal with and learn. And then I had learned that before I had that dream or that experience. I don't know what the fuck it was, but maybe I had heard footsteps on the roof. Maybe like 3 weeks later, I had that dream where I was getting dragged around the studio. And then after that moment, I was like, holy fuck, this place is for real different. Like this place is for sure, like not haunted or maybe haunted, but this place for sure has some demonic or some shit that is not normal. And that's where like my eyes have been opened ever since then. Like I just understood that this world we live in is not our world. It is, but there's also other shit going on without us even knowing. Yeah. Did you ever spend the night there ever again?
No. I was there during the day, but never again in the night.
And you're saying that when you woke up, the producer was already there?
He was already ready to leave.
So he was basically already there when you woke up?
No, I woke up, I sat down in my chair. Like a minute later, he walked, because he had a whole room, like that studio had 4 different bedrooms or different studios. He was in the 4th studio, which was the one all the way in the back.
So he was also there when you were there?
Oh yeah. And that's why it makes it seem so much more crazy.
Yeah.
Because in my dream, because the whole reason why I spent the night there is because of him. Because I was waiting for him to go home. Right. But since he's like a big ass producer, I had to stay there and wait for him because he has the word, he pays the money to stay there that amount of time. So they're like, be up by 6. If you're up by 6, you're good. I was up by 6, but that's when my dream ended. I woke up. I was like, oh shit, it's fucking 6. I went and sat down at the computer, and all of a sudden I see that producer walking down from the 4th room, which was like far. Like, it's probably like a big ass building. It's probably like this building, but times 3. So like it would go all the way over there. And he was in the furthest room. So I woke up at 6. Like 5 minutes later, I see him walking down. Boom. It's like later. And I'm like, later. Drives off.
Did you think?
I never questioned it because since I've already heard like steps and shit already in there. And that's the first time I've ever slept there. So in my head, I was like, should I even fall asleep? And I really didn't want to, but I did because I was actually very tired.
Right.
So I fell asleep and that shit happened. And that's the first time that I've ever had a dream where it felt so real. Because when I fell asleep and that shit, I felt like I was getting dragged around the room. It felt so fucking real.
That's crazy.
But then when I woke up, I was literally sleeping on the same couch that I fell asleep on, but facing the opposite way of the cameras. Because I remember in my dream when I was getting dragged, I was staring at the cameras. I was like sleeping, like making sure that no one was gonna come or whatever, staring at the cameras. And then I started getting dragged. But then when I woke up, I was staring the opposite way of the cameras. And then I was like, oh shit, it's 6 a.m. I got to open the gate. And then I seen that guy just, bye, later.
And you didn't think nothing of it?
No, because I already knew that it was just some spiritual shit.
Right.
But I was afraid. I'm not going to lie. I was afraid. Because I had heard so many stories about that studio and I never believed it. Until it happened to me, and I was like, holy shit, this shit is real.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, right? Maybe in places where shit happens, maybe after shit happens, it stays haunted, you know? Like, for example, the story that I told, I've heard stories. One specific story, I heard that, you know, back in the day, there was a student. A student who went to Phoenix High School. And Phoenix is where Monkey Trees is. The view that we experienced that. I don't know if it's a true story or not, because I've heard it from like a friend. But like I said, I don't know if it's true or not, but he told me that there was a time where this kid was just, you know, getting bullied. And he was just tired of it. And he decided to take his own life.
Oh shit.
At Monkey Trees.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's a true story or not, or if it has something to do with what we experienced, but from what?
A lost soul.
Yes. Maybe it could have been a lost soul. I don't know. But okay, we experienced that shit. We experienced that shit. And like I said, I never went back at nighttime ever again. Crazy stuff, man, happens in this world.
It does.
That's why, you know, not all of us get to experience all that. But the ones that we do get to experience and we come out of it. So let's just make sure that we appreciate life even more than what we already have. Or more than what we already do.
Yes, sir.
But that's a wrap for today. Compa Eliezer, thank you for being here, bro. I appreciate you telling your story.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully, you know, this is something that we can keep going, whether if it's you or with another guest. But for sure, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening to our experience. If you have an experience based on true events, please make sure to email me at fernie.2k19@gmail.com. That's my email. Like I said, story has to be based on true events, because the more true the stories are, the more intrigued you get.
Oh yeah.
The more you wonder. But yeah, that's all for today. Thank you guys.
Thank you.